James Webb Space Telescope images that will make you say, whoa. NASA's James Webb Space Telescope is doing what everyone expected it to do. Since July 2022, when it started to work, the observatory has sent back a constant stream of wonderful photos of the universe. Researchers can use these pictures to look back in the history at the early universe, study planets that circle other stars, and keep an eye on planets within our own planetary system. Like the Hubble Space Telescope, pictures from the James Webb Space Telescope are intended to inspire people. The telescope's infrared detectors shows us parts of the universe we have never seen before. Here are some of the beautiful pictures it has released so far that will make you say, whoa. 1. Cosmic Cartwheel. This picture may be the most beautiful one that the Webb telescope has taken up to this point. The Cartwheel galaxy is about 153 million parsecs apart in the constellation Sculptor. It looks like a wheel with spokes that move from a vibrant center ring to a vibrantly colored outer circle. This strange shiny shape was made when a tiny spiral galaxy crashed into a huge spiral galaxy, which messed up its structure. With its infrared vision, JWST could see through a lot of the dust that generally hides details. Young stars show up as blue dots, especially in the spokes and on the outside ring. The red color shows where there are a lot of hydrocarbons as well as other substances. Overlaid is often purple X-ray info from NASA's Chandra X-ray Observatory, which shows overheated gas and some other high-energy events. Two smaller galaxies are next to each other on the left. 2. Stellar Nursery. The Tarantula Nebula is a wonderland of orange and white dust where new stars are being born. The blue stars look like fireworks going off. This is the biggest and brightest place in our galaxy where stars are being made. It is also where the brightest and most huge stars are found. Stellar winds from the young stars have cleaned up their spot within the dusty cocoon. A single older star emitting bright spikes near the upper left of the core is an observation-based artifact. About 110 parsecs can be seen in the picture. 3. The Phantom Galaxy. You may have seen this picture before, but certainly not in this way. This beauty, M74 or NGC 628, is a spiral galaxy 32 million light years away. It was made using info from Webb for the FANGS project. Webb's mid-infrared instrument collected the raw data, and amateur astrophysicist and artist Judy Schmidt used the data to create the complicated dust lanes that decorate the spiral arms in the picture. The project looks at galaxies that look phase-on from Earth, while one of its primary goals is to figure out how stars are made. Schmidt, also known as Gekzilla, has been changing the colors in pictures from Hubble and Webb and other huge observatories. Her work has made faraway objects of outer space seem so brightly alive and mystical. 4. Cosmic Cliff. This picture may look like a desert mountain underneath the shining stars, although it is genuinely the edge of a young star forming area called NGC 3324 in the Carina Nebula. Webb's NIRCam shows areas where stars are born that were previously hidden. These regions are about 7,600 light years away. The steam that seems to emerge from the mountains in space is actually hot, ionized gas and dust being pushed away from the nebula by intense ultraviolet light. 5. Fingerprint of the universe. It might look like somebody's fingerprints are on it, but what you're viewing now is WR140, a pair of stars that move around one another. The WR shows that one of the two stars is a Wolf-Rayet, a special type of star that is hundreds of thousands of times brighter and warmer than our sun. It's the last step in the life cycle of giant stars that are dozens of times heavier than the sun. Before they blow up in supernovas and transform into black holes, these stars go through this phase. The fingerprint impact around the two stars is caused by puffs of organic dust from the WR140 and moving around it. 6. Stephen's Quintet. Edward Stephen found this group of galaxies in 1877. The James Webb Telescope's NIRCam and MIRI instruments have shown details in this cluster of galaxies that have never been seen before. Despite its being called a quintet, only 4 of the galaxies are really close and dancing together. The fifth galaxy, NGC 7320, is the most distant from Earth. It is 40 million light years away, whereas the remaining 4 are 200 290 million light years away. Stephen's quintet also demonstrate how 4 galaxies slowly crashed into one another like a train wreck occurring in slow motion in space. Gravity is pulling them together in a way that keeps them close together. In the upper right galaxy, there is a bright light that is currently 40 billion times much brighter than the sun. This is a supermassive black hole that is vigorously eating matter from the galaxy around it. 7. ABELL 2744. Numerous distinct JWST exposures were put together to make this picture of the galactic clusters ABELL 2744. The majority of the thousands of things visible in this small portion of the sky are faraway galaxies. This picture is a mosaic centered on the massive group of galaxies known as Pandora's cluster, or ABELL 2744. In addition to a few bright stars in the center of the frame, each spot of brightness represents a whole galaxy. There are tens of thousands of galaxies in a dark sky area about the size of a small part of the full moon. This shows how big the universe is. Astronomers, both professionals and amateurs, can spend hours looking through this picture for strange things and mysteries. 8. The Hourglass Protostar. The Hourglass Protostar is a star that is still gathering sufficient gas to start turning hydrogen into helium. This hourglass-shaped object is made up of a cloud of dust and gas surrounding a protostar called L1527. The black band in the middle is an accretion disk of falling matter that can only be seen in infrared light. Ultimately, the protostar will get big enough to begin fusing hydrogen, and a young star will be born. Meanwhile, light from the star still forming shines on the gas above and beneath the disk, giving it an hourglass structure. Spitzer, give us our last look at this, and the level of detail again represents a considerable step forward. 9. Webb's first deep field of thousands of galaxies. This near-infrared picture of galaxy clusters, SMACS 0723, is packed with thousands of galaxies. This clear picture was achieved by high-resolution images from NASA's James Webb Telescope and a natural effect called gravitational lensing. First, look at the bright white galaxy cluster in the middle of the picture and the smaller white galaxies all over the picture. These are the galaxies that caused the lensing. Gravity holds them together to form galactic clusters, and they bow the light from galaxies far behind them. The mass of the galaxy clusters and dark matter work together like a telescope, taking pictures of specific galaxies that are bigger, twisted, and even mirrored. The galaxies in this picture that are the smallest ones are far away, look different from the spiral and elliptical galaxies. They are much more lumpy and uneven. Webb's image is clear and may help scientists figure out how old and heavy star clusters are in these faraway galaxies. This could help create more precise models of galaxies that occurred in the spring of the universe, when galaxies were growing tiny buds of new growth, interacting and combining, and hadn't grown into bigger spirals yet. In the end, Webb's forthcoming findings will help astrophysicists learn more about how galaxies form and expand in the early universe. When you pull back the curtain of time with this new telescope, these unknowns are sure to be interesting. So here are the most impressive and fascinating pictures of things in space that the James Webb Telescope has taken. How do you feel when you look at each of these images and realize that we are only a small dust speck in this massive universe? So that's it for today, guys. What are you waiting for? Go ahead and like the video. Remember to subscribe.